Welcome everyone. Today we have a very special SpaceChain video because I will be interviewing Mr. Z, the CEO of SpaceChain, the first cryptocurrency ever to send a crypto up into space, not Dogecoin. And we will speak about that with the CEO in this interview. So make sure you watch all the way through so you understand the goals, the mission, the vision, the future timeline, what you should expect with SpaceChain. All of that will be in today's interview. So make sure you tap the like button real quick, show your appreciation to SpaceChain and to Mr. Z for giving us his time today. And I tweeted, if you want a chance to win a special SpaceChain badge for their space mission, make sure you follow my Twitter page and you retweet the tweet about SpaceChain. So I'll leave a screenshot of what it is on the screen right now. So make sure you go to my Twitter page. It's on my YouTube channel. You can see the link on it. Or on Twitter, you can find me at Mr. Mufleh. At Mr. Mufleh. Make sure you tweet. Make sure you retweet the tweet I tweeted. Okay? And that's how you... It's just as simple as that. And if you do that, you'll be into the giveaway. And make sure you also leave a comment down below. You have to comment on this video, so I make sure that you watched this video and you saw the tweet as well. So those two things if you want to be entered into the giveaway. And in the next SpaceChain video that we make, I will do the drawing live. So I'll have all the names into the system and we'll choose 5 winners. 5 of you will get this exclusive badge, the Space Mission SpaceChain badge, for a souvenir, for whatever it is. You can put it on a jacket you have, you can post it and hang it on the wall, whatever you want to do with it. But to enter into the giveaway, make sure you leave a comment down below on this video and retweet that tweet. So let's just jump into it. Enjoy. Welcome back everyone to my channel. Today I am very excited to have the CEO of SpaceChain, one of our favorite and top holdings, Mr. Z and Tony as well, on the call. And today we're just going to talk about SpaceChain, really the future of it and the goals, expectations, what you should expect watching at home. And just I hope you all enjoy. So Mr. Z, can you, I guess from your own words, explain to us what SpaceChain is and why is it important?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Happy to join your show, and I've been following your channel, and you're making a lot of videos. And I really enjoy watching it, and also we're very grateful you are being very active in our community. So yeah, for SpaceChain, I'm the founder and co-founder and CEO, and I started the company with Jeff Garzek, who is a former Bitcoin developer. I believe he started joining the project since very beginning. He actually directly worked with Satoshi for a couple of years in the very early years, and he has been talking about Bitcoin in space for a very long time. I think since 2013, but it wasn't really the right time because the technology wasn't there, the money wasn't there. But at 2017, we really started looking at starting something like this. So. Yes, SpaceChain has been running for 4 years. So we're aiming to become the integrator for blockchain and space technology to support the future new space economy. Also becomes the infrastructure provider for the blockchain companies as well. So far, after 4 years of running, we have launched 4 space missions, and we have one more coming in 2 weeks in US as well. Yeah, so I would say a lot more coming, hopefully, and we're very excited.
So what is the main point of these space missions? So like you send up these devices, the Castillo devices, up into the space and you install them. And then what after that? Like what is the use case for the people watching at home? What should they expect to happen with SpaceChain?
Sure. So I would explain it in what's already been happening and also what's our final goals, just so we have a clear picture. So the first 2 launches, we work with a company called Token. So they're it's a UTXO basic smart contract platform. So a little bit like a combination of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we work with them and we launched with their nodes. So the first 2 launches were experimenting how exactly running a blockchain node in space, how what kind of advantage it bring and what kind of usage we can actually use. So after that, we learned a lot about how the connection works and what kind of potential usage. For example, we were talking about when all the ground network was compromised, we actually had utilized the space node to actually synchronize everything back. So because it's a unique and independent, and also we use alternative way of communicating. So since then, we go back a little bit more like in a mainstream blockchain. So the third payload we launched, which is a Bitcoin multi-signature wallet. Then we were very lucky. We got a partnership with our one of our partners, and we launched with SpaceX. So actually, currently, it's still installed inside of International Space Station. So what we can do with it is that we can utilize the payload, the hardware inside of the ISS to keep the private keys, and it will become one of the signature authorizer for a transaction to happen. I will give you a real world example, which is already been using. For example, if you're crypto exchanges, you don't want to be the solo holder like of the private key, because if you get hacked, everything is gone, right? And what our partner in the work is doing with us is that they're generating multiple private keys and keeping some of the keys with us. So when they want to generate a transaction, they actually not only you or whoever else is in your company need to approve, we will need to help to process it as well. So think of a scenario that, let's say you got hacked and somehow you got doxxed and they know you're in Dallas. They breach into the local server, they breach into Wi-Fi and try to take all the passcode. But we are a unique network that stand alone by ourselves, and I wouldn't think any hacker would attempt to hack the ISS and the other ground station. The satellite communication channel we're using, so it's extremely difficult. So yeah, we add another layer of protection. So and working with our so the fourth mission we work as a Ethereum payload. So similar like what Bitcoin did. It's also a multi-signature, but with Ethereum, of course, there's smart contract functionality with it. So we can practice a lot of we can experiment some like smart contract usage, and we're definitely going to release more information once the testing like started, because it just arrived at ISS, so it takes some time for it to process. So the next mission will also be a Bitcoin multi-sig related mission that we work with a exchange, a digital bank, and also another I would say non-government project. So what it does is that we help the client to keep their custodian of digital assets safe. So as you can see, we're progressing and we're getting more and more advanced, and we try to integrate it with more blockchains to expand our influence to more open source communities. And for the long-term goal, we actually have some crazy plans. We do want to become a so-called decentralized satellite infrastructure for the blockchain and space industry, because one of the main goals we find within this particular combination is that if you talk to many blockchain programs, we find they think they want to do decentralized this, decentralized that, but all the infrastructure is very, very centralized. The network they're using, the server they're using, but we do find the opportunity that potential satellite network can become I would say a decentralized infrastructure to support this kind of future operation. I will stop there, but we do have a lot of stuff planned out.
So who would you say is like your main competitors in the space?
So we don't have a direct competitor, like you mentioned before. Like we are actually quite unique, and for other companies who are doing blockchain and the space combination, I would say I never seen any other mission being launched, particularly. So there's some like attempt for connecting satellite to the transaction. We do see that, but they are now customized hardware to be launched. So we don't have a direct competitor yet. But on the other side, we are sort of competing with some of the satellite provider, because we try to connect different companies satellite together to become more decentralized. So for a lot of a centralized satellite provider, I would say they're kind of a competition, but not exactly, because they can also be a partner as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm asking because something that Elon Musk keeps tweeting and it keeps bothering me is the fact that, oh, Dogecoin is going to be the first cryptocurrency in space and all those things. And it doesn't make sense, because like from the outside looking in, you guys are working with SpaceX to send these devices up into the space. So it's like if you guys have already done it and you don't really have much competition, because obviously, like we all know, you're unique in that aspect. Like you're already up in space. Why does he keep saying that Dogecoin will be the first cryptocurrency in space?
So I think uh, because for example, we are a satellite design company, so we design the hardware and software integration. Then we work with a launch service provider such as like SpaceX to launch with it. But I would say each mission there are many different kind of hardwares being brought by SpaceX as well. So and personally, I do think Elon promoting Dogecoin is I think it's more entertaining for him than like what I don't think he really consider as a partially his actual work to be done, but it's just very entertaining and very interesting for him. So yeah, we're kind of working at different tracks. We're actually make the use case happen, and we try to work with different enterprises. But he just yeah, he enjoyed talking about Doge, I guess.
So just to be clear, what he's saying with Doge is false, right? Because there has already been cryptocurrencies up in space.
Yeah, in my opinion, definitely. In my opinion, definitely, he's yeah. I think we already been transmitting Bitcoin, Ethereum in space. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's all old news. Okay, well, I wanted to ask you directly because you're the CEO of SpaceChain. So I wanted to ask you directly to see what your thought process was, because sometimes when I see his tweets, and like just 2 days ago, he tweeted a new space race has begun between Dogecoin and Bitcoin. I'm like, there is no space race. It's already done. Like you guys
Oh,
have
I have
done.
one thing that he could be potentially surpass us, like that if that's like gonna happen. For example, if he actually make a Dogecoin, and for example, let's say this is a wallet of Dogecoin, right? He launched it to the moon and landed on the moon. I think that in that case, he's the first one to ever done it, like for sure. Because I saw some of his tweets, he said he's doing that. So we're not, we would consider about it, like doing with Bitcoin, but it's very hard to find an exact use case other than the symbolic, meaning of it. But yeah, so that would be interesting though. That would be interesting.
Yeah, he's just taking it a step further. But okay, um, yeah. So can you speak to us a little bit more about your investors and your partnerships with the companies? Because when we look at spacechain.com or your website, you'll see that you're partnered up with a lot of interesting organizations. Is there any new big names coming up soon that we should be looking forward to?
Sure. So our investor, I would just name a few. For example, Tim Draper is our first investor and also advisor, has been my mentor as well. He has been supporting us from the very beginning. We also had an investment from Matthew Rozak, so who is also the chairman of the digital chamber of Chamber of Digital Commerce. So also one of the top, I would say, blockchain influencer. So we have been working with a lot of good investor, like in US and Singapore, to kind of support our ecosystem. And for partnerships, as you can see, we a lot of those launches happen. We work with different like a launch service provider. For example, work with NanoRacks a lot because they're based in US, DC, and also Texas actually. They have a Texas office in Houston. So we work with them and they help us to make a lot of launches happen. They help us with logistic. We work with a company also called Block, with also another company my co-founder started to is a blockchain enterprise company. So we work with them for their expertise in the blockchain. Also, I work with Draper University. I don't know if you've heard of it. So it's a university that Tim Draper started. So they have a lot of great entrepreneurs. So we join their programs from time to time to for recruitment, also sharing our updates. And for a lot of like other space companies, we already worked with a European Space Agency, and we were they funded some of our project, including the Bitcoin wallet. And I think we were the first blockchain project the European Space Agency ever funded. Yeah, just to name a few, we do work with a lot of partners because every mission we accomplish it. It really takes, I would say, 5, 10 different partners to, we just need to coordinate.
Okay. So so like you send up those devices up into space and you do your thing. what is the use case of the token itself, like the SpaceChain token? Like, why should investors go out of their way to purchase the SPC token?
Absolutely. Yeah. So first of all, we already launched our open source hardware, and which is called a Callisto. So it's a very sim. So basically, it can offer you the similar development like environment, just like the other device in space. So what we really want to do in future is that we want to continue to build our infrastructure. Like we're gonna keep launching, and we want to enable more and more use cases based on our platform. Then we will offer like the hardware, like the developers can actually purchase the hardware and then to run all those kind of tests. And once the ecosystem get bigger and bigger, then we can expect more application be made on the platform because we offer such a unique opportunity. For example, if you're a developer, you can actually test on the Callisto, and if you have any kind of use cases, we can actually launch for you. And at the beginning, of course, we're going to promote the ecosystem. We can launch it for free, but eventually we want to see more and more, like for example, decentralized application or custodian services being launched on our platform. Then the token will be the value transmission vehicle on the platform. And also another side of it is that we're also building another device, which is a hand-holding device. It's a little bit like a satellite phone, but we actually integrate a ledger inside of it, so you can use it as your digital wallet. So 80% of the Earth, as long as you are have some satellite signal, you are able to transact Bitcoin and also Ethereum, ERC20 tokens, and stable coins. And yeah,
would that be connected to the Casio devices up in space?
Yes, oh, absolutely. So basically, the unique part of this is that because it's modeled as a satellite phone, so it always have a direct link to the satellite we work with, and some are ours, some are our partners, and I think that's a transformative technology, and we're planning to utilize it. Have our token being one of the fees to be paid if people use our services. Because I speak with a lot of companies such as they do international trade. So when they're on the ocean, when they're on some of the less infrastructure enabled places, you're able to use this vehicle, the device to make transactions, and it's very convenient because some of the places, as you know, they don't have a proper banking infrastructure, they don't have any network, they don't have any signals, and we can directly use it. And also interesting is that some of the crypto whales we speak with, and they care about privacy a lot. They actually, even they're in the center of the city, they would like to use kind of services because it's a unique link direct to the satellite, so they don't need to use any kind of other people's network, and we can generate direct link. So yeah, I think that's really interesting, and we're already did the MVP, and we're looking for a partner to help us to kind of manufacture more and distribute it.
Okay. Wow, yeah, that is super interesting. I guess that's something else for us to look forward to. So, from my understanding is that you probably make most of your money by selling these devices, and then on top of that, government grants. But how else would you raise money for SpaceChain? Because also, I believe that the tokenomics, like you're almost done issuing all of the tokens, right?
Yep.
So like after that, what is your plan on financing SpaceChain and making sure that, hey, in 5 years time, you're still financially stable and that cash flow is not an issue? What is the plan with that?
Okay, no problem. So yeah, first of all, like the two missions we're doing this month, the one 3 days ago we launched, and the one we're gonna launch in 2 weeks are fully commercialized. So mostly it's paid by our customer and also some government grants, including space agency. So yeah, so we're getting more and more commercialized. So the first 3 launches, we basically, although we do get like a but the most of the R&Ds are covered by ourselves and our investors. But gradually we're going to commercialize. So I expect the future mission will be more commercialized. So we are able to find a customer to cover all the launches. And the good news is that after I think last week we did a pretty good coverage from media or across media. Probably you have probably read about it. we do have a customer approach us to want to launch with us. They want ask us to join their ecosystem. They say, oh, this new blockchain, I cannot share the name, but they say, oh, why don't you actually integrate with our device, our blockchain, and help us to launch with ISS, with some other like satellite platforms. And we do sort of see those kind of tractions, and I think that will be one of the main source of income. And just like because I personally don't like a lot of other blockchain companies. They just stay with the token, but no actual business. So I don't think that's a sustainable model in the long term. The token only works as long when you have a business, right? So we want to make the satellite business works. So if we're a good satellite company, we can consistently do launches. We are getting commercial customers, and then we are able to say, okay, we're gonna build an ecosystem around tokens. But what I observe is that many other blockchain companies don't have a business. So if they only talk about the token, then I don't think that's how the business works, because the ecosystem building is completely based on your team's capacity on delivering the actual projects and its actual products, right? So we're very product focused and a customer focused company, and I believe that will help us to finance our companies.
Perfect. So speaking, I guess this is my last question. Speaking about like the token itself, QuantStamp right here. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They are a blockchain auditing company, so they audit blockchains to make sure everything is good with them. But one thing that investors do not like about QuantStamp is the fact that they accept fiat instead of making the customers that they work with buy the actual QuantStamp token, so that way like it creates value for the token. Is that something that you guys will do too, is like accept fiat only, or would you require your customers to buy SpaceChain, for example, and to transact with that?
Okay, I'm very honest with you at this stage, and we do provide a multiple options, including accepting fiat, because like I said, some of the companies, they are very traditional, and some of our partners are very traditional, like Space Partner. They have been there for like 50 years. So it's again, like I mentioned, we are pro business. We want to make the business work. Then it's a much later conversation. If, for example, if I've been working with you three times, 3 years, and then we know each other very well, and then we provide you other alternatives for payments, and that will be much easier accepted. But if you go to I wouldn't name names, but if you go to some of the top space companies, they can I pay you by like bitcoins, and for them it's very hard, and we don't want that to be a roadblock to the business to actually happens, right? So we want to make the business work, and then I do see, but as you can see, like since the beginning of this year, the adoption of crypto is getting much faster. So I would say it will definitely become easier and easier.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with, or final thoughts? Why should they look at SpaceChain and do their research?
Sure. I would say we are quite, most of us, when the launch doesn't happen, we're quite low key, and we just focus on what we do. But we are, I think we're quite accessible. So if you have any question, you can always go to our community, Telegram. And also you can follow us on Twitter. We have been very consistent on letting the community know about what we have been doing. Although there will always need to reserve some parts, because for some security issue, we cannot release any news before the launch actually happens. So we need to be quite conservative that for the security purpose. But we're quite open-minded. Good idea. You think there's a company who wants to integrate with us, they should get into space. You should always let us know, and you can do an intro email. We're happy to get on calls with them, and happy to support, because we are planning to be the leading integrator for the industry. And if there is any blockchain want to get into space, and I would say we're the best.
Oh, perfect. And I can definitely attest to the fact that you guys are very, very cooperative, and your willingness to actually engage with the community, that's something respectable, because some projects, they just don't cooperate with us at all. They don't want to talk to the community. So SpaceChain does that very well. That's all I have for you all. Mr. Z, thank you so much for being on the call. and Tony as well. He's with us in the background. But yeah, I hope you all got some more information about SpaceChain and why it's different, the future of it, what you should expect, catalysts coming up, the use cases. I hope this video and this interview gave you all quality and value. So if you appreciate it, also make sure you follow SpaceChain Twitter pages, the YouTube channel. They're on social media, they're everywhere. So make sure you follow them, and that's all I have.
Okay, make sure you follow Am's YouTube account as well.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very
Thank you so much.
I hope you all got some valuable insight from that interview. It was an amazing discussion between myself and Mr. Z. And again, everyone, if you want to be entered into the giveaway, leave a comment real quick on this video and retweet my tweet. I'll leave a screenshot right now on the screen. Do those two things and you will be entered into the giveaway. We will announce the 5 winners in the next SpaceChain video. So show your support. I appreciate you all. I hope you all got some value out of this. It was a really special meeting interview. And until next time, Mr. Mufleh, out.